Hello and welcome to Life is Feudal, Forest Village. In the last episode we'd been expanding our farming and putting a port. There was some people who died. I lost a few kids to hypothermia because of the cold. And one of the problems was we were running out of firewood. So what I've been doing to get around that since is we've put in another lumberjack lodge here, and I've now upgraded it to a sawmill. Put another one up here as well, and Dominic's in the process of converting that over to another sawmill. And I've got a deconstruction order in place for this one. Now the difference between this one and this one, as far as I'm aware, is the crafting time. This one's got a crafting time of 1.3 minutes. This one's 1 minute, so they should be able to chop up the wood into firewood a lot quicker now. So I've transferred the two of them over to here. I've had times where I've had like 3 in here, but I've now had to free one of them up to put into this flax field here. The clothing is going down, and the amount of flax we had, the weaver's just gone completely through it. There's none left, so I've had to return to another flax field. I thought it would last a lot longer, but it hasn't. Maybe it's because we got more people. Oh no, it's not. Actually, haven't said that. I put the order in to start building the boat here, so they've pulled 100 flax from there and used it here. That's why. Now I remember. Yeah. So the only thing we're missing is the cast iron. So, in theory, what should happen now is these should be able to produce firewood a lot quicker, and hopefully we'll be able to get through a winter without any of these people running the risk of running out of firewood. Now I'm still waiting for all of these kids to grow up. Oh, I've got a fire going on somewhere. Where's there a fire? Oh, somebody's house is on fire. How much water have we got? Wow, you're rattling through that water. Yeah, so where was I? Oh yeah, so basically these should go a lot quicker to make wood, and hopefully now we'll be in a position where we'll be able to last longer as well, because I came pretty close to hypothermia again in the last winter, which is unfortunate. I mean, they kept running out of firewood, so I had to put like another person in on the lumberjack lodge, and I've been putting in orders here to basically just keep chopping the trees down. Fortunately it's going into here, which isn't too far for them to travel, but once this one's up and running, which it is actually now, right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a quick change here. I want to force one of them up here, and then that way we'll start consuming some of the wood here, because that's where most of it is. If they keep having to like travel all the way over to here and back, it's taking them a long time. It's not efficient at all. At least this person should be able to produce the firewood a lot quicker. But what I want to be able to do is convert that over to charcoal, because charcoal will last them longer. But anyway, I mean, now that Dominic's finished that, hopefully he'll start decommissioning this place here. Oh no, he's over here. What I did is I've actually put another water well here. While I was off camera waiting for all this lot to go, these buildings started catching fire and this well practically ran out. So it's a case of I've put another well here, just as like an extra precaution. But I don't have any spare people. Now looks like he's saying he's got nothing to do, but there's a decommissioner. Oh right, that's why. I've got it on pause. What I did is I paused that to get these people to go over to here. I thought they would have emptied this place out first, but they didn't. They just literally just downed tools and came over to here. So now this place is getting decommissioned, so that's better. The plan is I need the cast iron so that we can use that to build a ship. Once they've done that, well, to make the cast iron, I'm going to need a furnace. So the plan is I want to put a furnace in here, and I want to put another kiln in here. But I'm going to have to be really careful that I don't end up burning up all of the charcoal, because I can't remember the charcoal. Every bit of firewood gets turned into one charcoal, so I don't want to be in a situation where this thing just keeps pumping out tons and tons of cast iron, because then I'll end up with no charcoal. And if I've got no charcoal, it's because I've run out of firewood as well, and that's one thing I'm trying to avoid, really, more than anything, is to, you know, for these people to end up dying of hypothermia during the winter, because it actually drags on into the even into the spring, where they've still got to warm themselves up in the springtime, if they've got like hypothermia or something. So we're just going to wait for Dominic here to finish off. Now the weaver's got an instruction in now to make 100 clothes. The reason I've done that is because this yeah, it was the barn here was getting full, so I wanted to start making use of the hide, because before she was hitting it like a target of like 50, and then it was a case of, right, I don't need to make anything, so the hide was just building up and up. And as far as I'm aware, I mean, that thing, once that gets full, you can't put anything into it at all, which means, you know, things like the gatherer, for instance, they'd have to start bringing things probably down to here, or maybe down to here, depending on which of the two would have been closer. So that's not good. I mean, I've got the herbalists on pause because I don't have a shop, I don't have a healer's shop yet, which I really need to get at some point. Right, so anywho, I definitely need to get myself a furnace. Where has the furnace gone? Was it in here? Yeah, there's the furnace. So the furnace will produce iron. So we're just short of here. So I think what I'm going to do is, trouble is I want to put these, I want to put it on the edge. Tell you what, I'll put it right on the edge. Let's see, so probably come back to bite me later on, but I'm going to put that one there. So that gives me a furnace, and I want another kiln. Okay, so put the order in to build them. I was going to put them down there, but then I've just remembered I want to get rid of these farms, and I want to replace them. So basically, it's just we don't have enough hay. Oh, that's odd, because we do. Said we didn't have enough. Oh, got another fire going. Oh, no. Big house on fire. Not good. Come on, folks. Put the fire out. Like, whoa, you need 30 to put it out. Right. Just going to have to keep my fingers crossed it doesn't spread and get even worse. I mean, there's plenty of water in there. Ooh, stroke, that's going down seriously quick. Which doesn't make sense, really. I don't understand how that's going down so quick. Surely that's like enough for 100 buckets. Yet it only needed 30 to put it out. I don't know. Right, so I think they're going to have to rebuild that now. But anyway, we're just going to wait for these to get built, and then we can start producing our cast iron, because we've got iron ore. We've got an iron ore mine down here. The only problem is we just don't have enough people, so until these teenagers grow up, I'm kind of stuck. So I'm just going to pause the video, and I'll bring you back once we actually start once we're ready to start making use of these. Okay, so we're making some progress now, because we're heading towards the fall. They're getting so far through these fields. I mean, the flax, kind of surprised that. I would have thought the flax would have been done by now, but we've got more people on board, so we've got two labourers down here. So what I'm going to do is I want to get somebody into here and somebody into here. So that means I've got now 3 labourers. Okay, so I'm going to convert one of those over to a labourer, so I want to have 2. I'm just going to, I could do with another one. I think just for the sake of it, I'm going to have 3. It means I've only got 1 spare labourer, but the builder's not doing anything and the weaver's not doing anything, they can chip in together, because I've got some orders out at the moment to go and gather hay out here. Let's see, what's the weaver up to? What's Dominic up to? Yeah, he's out gathering hay, so at least they can be doing something while we're waiting. Now the limit for cast iron is like 5,000. Actually, I've put the limit up on here to 500. Now I don't know what's been going on here, because this was... oh, this is grass. That was supposed to be flax. Oopsie. How did that end up as grass? So, okay, well, for whatever reason, this year we haven't had any flax at all, so we're gonna have to rely on just what the clothes we've got left. I don't know how that ended up as grass. I think the plan was I was trying to think ahead where I would need grass for like any animals that came in, particularly a donkey, I think it is. But never mind. We'll have to deal with that next year and get more flax. But what I've done is I've increased the limit here. It was originally 400 for firewood. This firewood's been going out really fast now, which is a lot better. This one's been pushing it out at a rate of about 30 at a peak. This one was doing slightly faster, but only to begin with, because obviously when it started there was 2 people. I would imagine we'll be running out of wood here pretty quickly. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one slows down, but now that we've got 3 people making charcoal, and we've got 1 person now making the actual cast iron, so they need... yeah, so they need two charcoal. So they're going to burn through charcoal pretty quickly. Now, I don't want this this iron furnace here, the furnace here, I don't want it getting out of hand. Now, by default, you've got a limit of about 5,000. So what I'm going to do is, just for the sake of it, I'm going to set myself a nice limit of 50. Because until I start actually making use of it, we'll only need 40 to go into here. Then we'll end up with 50 spare once that's done, because the tools, you can make better tools. You can make these metal tools here, high quality tools, I think it is. It's either the high quality tools or the steel tools. Let's have a look. So we've got a... so normally there's a carpenter makes the carpenter's tools. A blacksmith makes tools. I'm just wondering, oh, there's a blast furnace that makes... I'm getting around to that yet. Sure there was a... yeah, there's a castle smithy, which is supposed to be a better version, I think. Presumably those ones... possibly? I don't know. But once we make that kind of tool maker, it makes this one obsolete. But I always keep it just on the off chance I do need it, because it's easy to make them. So, now that we've got this all nicely ticking over, what's the tool maker up to, just to make sure everybody's got something to do? Yeah, you're out gathering, presumably you're still out gathering hay. Is that what you're going for, hay? I'm pretty sure they're the only instructions I've got. What are you gathering? Yeah, you're gathering hay. Right, so we're going to leave it there for now, because the main focus is to start getting cast iron, and so far we haven't got diddly squat. So he's made about 2 and we need 40. So I'm just going to pause it there, and then I'll bring you back. Well, we've managed to make all our cast iron, so just waiting here for Dominic to actually build this ship. We're doing actually quite well, to be honest, in terms of firewood. I'm impressed. I mean, all I've done is I've just like gone from having 1 lumberjack lodge over here to 2 sawmills. Still got 2 people, but I mean, we've got hundreds of like firewood in comparison to what we had before. So that's made a massive difference now. So I mean, we're getting towards the end of summer. I've opened up these 2. I was starting to get more labourers in, so I opened up both of these farms. We've now got 4 labourers, so anybody who isn't busy, including them. I've got them out basically harvesting stone and iron ore, because I want to build those up as well. I've just been putting a little wall up here just to keep the ocean out if I can. And I've started leveling this area out as well, because there's a few things I want to put in. There's let's see where it is. There's one of the things I want to do is to put in a healer shop. Now the healer shop is massive. I forgot how big this thing is, but I definitely need one of these. I'm going to have to level this ground off. I just didn't realise it was. There's like a slight drop, it seems, going from here, and you just don't notice until you get to here, because I've leveled this all the way over to here, to this height, and it's quite surprising really, because you end up with quite a drop. But I'm going to have to flatten that area out. I mean, I've got a choice. I can either go for the healer shop, which I think is pretty crucial, to be honest. But I'm quite keen on getting an accountant's house, because that's a good way of being able to keep a track of my resources. Because I'm watching things like the food here, for instance. I'm really keen to make sure I've got enough food for these people. But I'm getting like food reserve warnings. I think that's just if a particular food type might disappear from a barn, for instance. That can trigger it. But it's easier if I've got graphs than just constantly keeping an eye on that number. Because what I want to do is I want to open up these fields here. Because once this ship's built, actually, is it built yet? Oh yeah, it is. It's built. Right, excellent. Right, so okay. So what I want is I'm really keen to get donkeys, to be honest, more than anything. I mean, I can go for fruit, you know, for orchards, that sort of thing, for farm, you know, plants that you can grow in fields and so on. But I'm quite keen to get these. So either sheep will be good, because that'll allow the weaver to then start making warmer clothes, which will be better for the winter time. Donkeys are great, because then I can start transporting things like the wood, for instance, in particular, down to here. Now those, it says it needs high quality tools, so that's a bit of a knockback. We're going to need fish pies, meat pies, and vegetable pies. So now meat pies, that's going to be oh yes, that's okay, because we've got meat. Vegetable pies, I have a funny feeling they need the eggs from the chickens, and we don't have any chickens. But I'm gonna get this in motion anyway, so that they gather all the stuff up they need, or at least what they can. Now, I was quite keen, as I say, to start making wheat, for instance, here. I mean, I've got 4 people. I want to free up maybe 2, so I was thinking, you know, oh, well, maybe I could go for wheat, but I was thinking, well, actually, I could go for more potatoes, and then that'll expand the population. Because if I expand the population, then I can, as a kind of a knock-on effect, I'll have more people to do things. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpause this field here, and this one here. Get these two fields built. So then once one of those is, well, once they're both ready, I think I'll just turn one of them into potatoes, because I'm more keen to get the population going. But I really want to keep an eye on the food, so I mean, I'm still a fair way off the amount of stone that I need. So it's a case of where can I build my little accounting shop, because what I'm tempted to do is to put a baker's down here. I mean, what do we need for the baker? I can find it. Right, so the bakery, if I expand this place out a bit more, yeah, so if I expand the topology out a bit more, I can put a baker down here, and then I can get them to make all 3 of the types of pies, and that'll get this thing on its way, more or less. But I definitely need to make the tools. Now that's where the smithy's going to come in handy. So I was tempted to put the smithy there, but I really want to put that healer shop down there, because it's a big shop. I mean, I can expand it out, I suppose, down to there. So I flatten that area out down to here. That gives me still enough room. Well, if I put that there and I put the blacksmith down there, where's the blacksmith. The blacksmith shop, I mean the blacksmith shop's not too big. So I could put the blacksmith down there. Just rotate that and put the blacksmith there, so then that keeps the blacksmith stocked. But the first thing I want to do really is I want to get that accountant's shop done, just so I can keep an eye on things. So what I'll do is once this is ready, I'm going to convert that over to make more potatoes. There's no point now doing it right this minute because we're into the end of the year anyway. But I'll set that off for springtime. And then I can just keep an eye on it for maybe over the period of a year, just to see how much, how much the food's going up and down, and that'll give me a rough idea as to how much I can get away with. Because if I can put in a size 10 house, something like this is better because it makes them more happier than one of these, for instance. So yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do. So there's quite a bit to do, so I'm just going to pause the video there and then I'll bring you back once we've made some more progress. Well, what I've done is to build a bakery down here, and as far as I can tell, there's actually a change in the game mechanics compared to when I last played this. As far as I recall, you would have a wheat farm here, so I've got this one set up to do wheat. Actually, it's early spring, isn't it? So what I need to do is I need to put in another two. I need another 2 farmers, so that takes me down to 2 labourers. I'm going to unpause that one. That one is paused, so I'll start getting more food in. But where I was that I've got myself a bakery down here. Now, I'm pretty sure last time I played this, there didn't seem much point to having the windmill, because the windmill would take the wheat and it actually produced bread. It went straight into bread. Now if you look at bread, it only produces about 8 calories compared to say like a vegetable pie, which does 56. There never seemed any point, unless you're into the variety of foods, that is. So what I used to do is I'd have like wheat farm, make a wheat farm that would supply, well in this case it's a a bakery that's going to be making fish pies. But I've noticed now it's specifically asking for flour, which is something that the windmill now makes. It doesn't make bread, it actually makes flour. So there's a lot more to it now. I mean, it makes a lot more sense. That was what I was originally expecting when I first played the game. You take your wheat, grind it into flour, and then from the flour you would then bake it into, pies, bread and all sorts. So they've obviously done something since I last played it to get it the way I would expect it to work, to be honest. But one thing I've noticed though is all of these farms seem to be dumping their produce into this barn over here instead of this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this one here, set up to do fish pies. But it's as I thought, the vegetable pies need eggs from chickens, so at some point I'm going to have to make a coop. I was beginning to panic there, I couldn't find one for the coop, and there it is there. So you don't have to go out and send a ship off to discover how to how to breed chickens. You already know how to do it, which is just as well really, given that you need to make vegetable pies in the first place to be able to send one of these ships out. But I've got orders in at the moment to clear out stone, so they're all gathering stone. Then at some point they're going to start clearing this area here, and what I'm going to have to do then is I'm going to have to put in another bakery which does the vegetable pies, and it can get all its vegetables from here. I'm going to put in a windmill to be able to obviously make the flour in the first place, but I need to get the population going. So what I'm going to do before I get started, because I'm just a bit concerned about that food limit, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build another one. I'm going to build one of these little accountant's houses. Now I can't quite fit it. Oh yes, I can. I can just about fit it in there. So I'm just going to rotate that round there. I think I'll put my little accountant's house there. Oh, I can't. No, yeah, it's as I thought. No, I can't. It's just slightly over the edge, so I can't put it there either, because then it gets onto the road. So I'm gonna have to find somewhere to put my little accountant's house. I might put it out back here somewhere, but I'm gonna have to extend this little area out here, because I'm quite keen to put the the healer's shop down here, but it needs a lot more topology. Not topology, needs more terraforming over there as well. So I'm going to pause the video, and then I'm going to bring you back once I've got all those little places smoothed out and the buildings ready to get built. So I'll see you shortly. Well, I've had to make some serious changes. Quite a lot of terraforming's been done. Now at the point where I've got this set aside to build an accountant's house, but I've got it on pause. Then I'm going to have a house over here, but again I'll put it on pause for now. This is going to be the healer's shop, but I had to flatten a lot of this out because it really messed the road up, and it was causing a lot of problems, so I had to rejig a few things. And now what we've got is I've flattened it out a bit around here and put some slopes in and what have you. I had to basically destroy the furnace and one of the kilns, move those, and I've put those across here so that I can get the blacksmith put in place over here. And I ended up rebuilding these as well, because I thought this road would end up a bit out of place, but as it turned out it was okay. So yeah, it was kind of a waste of time really, but I ended up destroying these and then completely rebuilding them, just slightly higher up though. Wasn't really necessary, but I just thought it was going to be something I'd have to do to get all this line back up again. But it took quite a lot of time and a lot of terraforming really. So that gets me to a place where I'll then be able to build the tools that I need. I don't know why, but one of the kilners actually died of hypothermia at some point. All of the charcoal got burned up over the winter, but we had over like 300 firewood, so I don't know if she was out like gathering things out in the forest maybe, but for whatever reason she obviously never got back home in time. Now out here I'm actually in the process of deconstructing a few things. I'm having to move things around. This iron mine's getting in the way, to be honest. I could have done with it being removed, but we've been losing quite a few people. We lost a miner here, so I've had to downgrade to just one miner here. We're going to have to wait till these catch up, so we're back up to 36. But I had to do some serious terraforming over here to get this put down. It needs a big flat area, so this is going to be where the windmill goes. I was about to put the... oh no, something's on fire. I was about to put the bakery over here that would do the vegetable pies, but I've noticed this building, this barn here, is actually full, so that's caused me a lot of problems. Obviously these people will be like gathering, you know, all the vegetables out here in the fields, but there's not enough room left. So what I'm doing is I'm going through a process of deconstructing things over here. I've put in an order to take the bakery back out again, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to build one of the bigger castle bakery stores. This castle barn, it can store a lot more. It needs quite a lot of resources, but I'm going to basically take this one here out, this warehouse out. It'll take a while for them to empty it, but I'll build a castle barn over here. Then I'll put an order in to destroy that one so that everything will go across here. Then I'm going to build another one in place of that. Then what I'll do is I'll then put in an order to put in my bakery to make my vegetable pies. I'll need an actual field to grow oats, I think, for the chickens to feed them, and then I'll need an actual coop as well building. So that's going to take quite a lot more, but I can't really get those started until this lot's cleared out. So I'm just going to see, I don't know where those fires were, but presumably over here, I think. It's usually over here where things tend to get set on fire for some reason. But yeah, I mean, there's a heck of a lot of resources, but it's just taking it's a long slow grind, because I've got nobody left to sort of plug the gaps, if you will. So I need more people, but I want to get this part sorted out first, then once I've got all those structures ready, I'm going to open this one up because I really want to keep an eye on the food stocks. I think we could be doing a lot better, and I think it's just purely because this barn's getting full. I think that's where the problem lies. I think this is the bottleneck. I wasn't paying that much attention to things where it's saying they're getting full. But I'm just going to leave these to it, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so we're getting there. We managed to get our big castle barn built, and managed to get everything transferred across. I mean, at one point we had over like 10k of vegetables in this place. It was probably a bad idea what I did. I mean, it didn't cause any problems, but as soon as this place was built, I put in an order to deconstruct this place, and straight away I got a warning about a lack of food. So I think what was happening there was I mean, everyone was coming in to empty this place out and put it in here, but I think it meant that nobody could access anything in this barn because it was, you know, under instructions to be moved across here. So I suppose if I wanted to play it safe, I could have put this barn, or at least the original one, on pause. That way people would have come in here to get their vegetables from here. In the meantime, other people would have been taking vegetables out and putting it into here. And then once this was fully emptied, I then could have put in an instruction to actually deconstruct it. That's probably the safer way to do it. I mean, it took them, I think, from about back end of summer maybe to well into the winter to clear out everything from here into here. There was over like 7,500 vegetables in there, I think, so it took forever to do it. And then we got to the point where there was about 10k of vegetables in here, so these were holding quite a lot. You can see we're up to about 10k, and we're kind of getting on towards about like half full, so I'm pretty confident. I mean, these two barns, I mean, both of these are the big castle type barns. They should be able to do well to be able to hold the vegetables, and I think it'll give us a much better store for vegetables, because I suspect at some point they haven't been able to put vegetables into here anyway. I think they might have been taking it over to here possibly, because it's not to here because it's not too far away. But where we're at now then anyway is I moved the warehouse and I've got that down there. We've now got our bakery over here. I've built myself a coop and also a field. Now that's now built, and I'm going to get that converted over to do oats, but I'm going to put it on pause. So this is just like a little 12 by 12 field. So I've got a well there to provide water for the field, for the coop, and for the actual bakery as well. I don't know if it's enough, but we'll see. I've got a scarecrow there to keep the birds away. Every so often I've been putting little lights down as well, just for the night. It's quite interesting. They look really good at night. I mean, most of the buildings have got their own little lights out anyway on the front. I've moved the windmill a bit further down because I want to, once this mine empties, I want to probably put in a wheat field down here as well. I don't know if one wheat field's enough for a windmill, so we'll just have to see. I mean, it's worthwhile putting one in. I'd rather have an excess because then maybe I can then change that over to something else. Maybe have the wheat. Technically, it doesn't really matter because to be honest, because the miller doesn't go to the farm to get to the wheat. He or she will still go to the barn. Likewise, the farmer will go and dump their produce into the barn as well. But I've got this under instructions to be built. It's almost done. They're actually just building it. All the resources got gathered. Everything else is still on pause because I'm really wanting to see how well we're doing on the actual amount of food that we produce, because what'll happen is you'll get a graph out of this, so I should be able to see the rise and fall of food over a year, just to give us a much clearer idea of what it'll be like when we start introducing this. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this house out, put it on pause straight away by upgrading it immediately. That way I'll be able to take it to like 12 people, and I'm going to need quite a lot of people. I mean, we need one for the miller, 2, 3, we need at least 4 there, 1 person there, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh no, that's not one. Hang on. We start again. So there's one there, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus the field. So that's 10 people we're going to need. So I get 12. That also gives you the opportunity. I can't remember how many people you can put into a bakery. I'm pretty sure it's more than one, maybe 2, maybe 3, I think. But I'd rather have the extra 2 because we've had the herbalist died of old age, so yeah, we definitely need more people. But the plan's going to be that this one will be making our vegetable pies, and I'll keep that permanently going. I've locked out the eggs. You can double click on an item and it's like there, double click on it, it's locked, double click on it, it's unlocked. When it's locked, it means like little villagers, citizens, whatever it is you want to call them, they won't go to the barn and pick these up. So they'll all get they'll all build up in the barn, in the baker will just keep picking them up and using them to make their pies. And I'm quite keen to do that because a pie, I mean, the amount of calories from a pie is way more than what gets done from, from just the vegetables themselves. When it comes to making the fish pies, I'm not sure at this stage if I'm going to make another bakery up here. I might at a later date, but for now I think because I just want to get the boat going, I think what I'll do is I'll swap this over from fish. I'll lock the fish out for a brief period to make sure that I get the fish pies. And we need 20 of each. Once we've got the fish pies, I'll switch it over to meat pies. I'll lock those out, unlock the fish, and that guarantees that all of the pies get made. And then it's just a case of getting all the tools built. And what I'll do is I'll take the carpenter out, so there's nobody actually available to do carpentry, and I'll switch them over to being a blacksmith instead. That'll get me like 20 tools, and I'll just get them to focus on making tools going forward. But that's almost done actually, which isn't too bad. I mean, I won't be able to get much out of it straight away because it's obviously got to build it up over a period of time. But we should be able to get enough there so that when we start the next episode, I mean, I'll get this all built and finished off camera because it's it's just the same old process. I'm gonna have to get people going out and doing a grind of gathering all the resources for all this stuff. There's not much to see there, to be honest. But when we come back for the next episode, hopefully we'll then be ready to set sail. So I do hope you've enjoyed watching the video. If so, then do please leave a like, because that'll help me out a great deal. If you're new to the channel, you want to see more content like this, then yeah, do subscribe. Just remember to click the little bell icon though, because that way you'll get notifications for when new content comes out. And if you've got any comments, any suggestions, any feedback that you want to leave, please post that in the comment section below. So until the next video though, thanks very much for watching. Bye!